What's going on, Team Tactile? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to look at the devastating TKL from Canon Keys. I was able to snag this on a sweet spring sale deal, 125 bucks. I got the whole keyboard, we got switches, we got stabilizers, we got keycaps. So overall, pretty solid deal. Let's take a look at what we got here. I've already started tinkering around, seeing what we got in here, but we do have our PCB. Now this is a soldered board, so this is going to be an adventure for us, but otherwise we do have everything else up top here. So our plate is going to come with this, some foam that goes in afterwards there. Again, our stabilizers, which these appear to be clip-ins and not screw-ins, and then all the extra O-rings, hardware, things that we will need to put this together. And then finally, if we take a look at the bottom here, we have, hold on for Velcro rip. Cool. So if you take a look down here, we actually have the keyboard case itself, which I believe is like a sky blue or something along those lines. So it is a plastic case, but nice and smooth. I have actually come to love plastic cases because, if I'm being honest, the KBD67 is one of my favorites. So I'm really excited to do this and to learn a new skill in soldering. So let's take a look at what it takes to put this thing together. Cool. All right. So all I did was go ahead and put the stabs into the PCB. These are clip-in stabilizers, and I just went ahead and lubed those up. So after that, really all they are going to tell us to do is to pop the plate on top. And then, since this is a solder board, we're going to throw the switches in, and after the switches are in, we can go ahead and flip it over and start soldering, which is going to be the real adventure for us here. So we know the big question for every build we do is always going to be, what switches are we using? And I've gone back and forth on this build, but since I bought it as a kit, I kind of want to stay true to the kit. Maybe that sounds silly, but it's just kind of something that I'm going with. So these are what came with the $125 kit. They are just some Jwick yellow linears. Obviously at Tactile Talk we love tactile switches, but you know, there's nothing wrong in having a linear board. So I'm actually just going to use these since it's what they came with, and honestly because all the reviews and stuff, we're always going to be concentrating at least on tactile switches for a little bit. All right, so we got everything in and tested, right? So now with this devastating TKL, everything is soldered, and then the first thing that I did after soldering was plug it in without anything on, tested all the keys, everything's registering with VIA, so that's great. If you want to learn more about what I did to solder, check out my video on soldering, which should be coming up before this. For this one, I want to keep it to just building the keyboard. So really the next pieces of this looks to be mounting the PCB. Perfect. Yeah, this is the burger mount. So we have tiny gaskets between everything, and now if you can see, it kind of has on each of these things, you can see like a little indent for where an O-ring would go, and that is why they've provided us with a bunch of O-rings, because some of these are also going to go on the screws, it looks like. But now we need to add the O-rings to the case, and now we're going to add the PCB is what comes next. So just like one way, let me figure out, make sure I put the port in the right direction, and all of that. So we got our arrow keys like this. We're actually going to go in like so, and everything's going to sit in just like that. And then we're going to O-ring all of these little screws as well. Screw these in, and like everything we do, we're gonna go opposite sides and things like that, so that we're not stressing out the PCB more than we need to. All right, so the next piece of this is for us to actually look at the bottom of the keyboard, which I happen to have right here. How convenient. Don't mind extra O-rings, but we got the bottom of the keyboard here, and that's where the polyfill comes in. So we're gonna add some polyfill to the case. It says as much as we want. So we're just gonna spread this out throughout the case. So they tell you to flip it. I'm gonna kind of do it the reverse way. I'm gonna do it this way and then flip it back over just to put those final screws in, just to make sure that we get all this polyfill in as well. So this one has got a bunch of kind of little access points and things that we got there. So easy enough. And then kind of same method as with the keyboard. We're gonna go ahead and do the corners first, just so that we got a completely together keyboard. So got our rubber feet on, keyboard's looking good. And then next up, keycaps, which I'll show you guys the kit, because this was again included in the $125, which is awesome. Nice PBT beach day. So again, my goal was to build this kind of as what I bought. So that's what we're gonna do, which means throwing these keycaps on. I think they'll go pretty well, and we will take it from there. So here we have the fully assembled Devastating TKL. And I want to talk really quick just about my thoughts. And I guess before we do that, let's do a quick sound test. So it actually sounds decent. I think you get a better sound out of tactile switches, at least for me. It's more pleasing, like clack, thock. That stuff doesn't matter as much as good versus bad. And overall, I think I kind of like the chiclety sound to the keys. You know, the stabilized buttons some of them are a little muted. I think the spacebar sounds good, but no harm, no foul. Again, these are switches I'm not familiar with because I just grabbed them because they came with the kit. The kit itself, decent enough to build. Obviously, the reason why this was on sale is because, you know, the paint was peeling and things like that. But if you can get one for $125 with keycaps, with switches and all of that, it's a great deal. If you are not in the market for a deal and looking to pay full price for a keyboard, I don't know if I would recommend this one. I'm not a huge fan of the build. The burger mount was cool. Soldering was cool, but you can get other keyboards that will do that for you as well. Would I recommend the Devastating TKL? Probably not. If you can get it on a discount like I did, for sure. Not something to not go for at that point. But overall, I might try something like a Tiger Light 80. Appreciate everybody hanging out through another video. I'm enjoying putting all these keyboards together, talking to you guys about them. So let me know what you all think in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will catch you all in the next one.